Welcome to your Move Well practice for today. This will be a 30-minute practice to entice your body into a place of movement that is easeful and hopefully leaves you feeling like you're moving more freely throughout your day. Come into a tall seat at the top edge of your mat. If you have any props, blocks, straps, or otherwise, have them always handy at the top of your mat. If you don't use them, they're just there. And if you need them, they're there. Bring your hands together at your heart center and simply take a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up to the mat, for your continued commitment to connect more deeply to your breath, to your body, to your mind. Take a moment to acknowledge the land in which you practice from today and its indigenous roots and connections, and the history of the yoga practice. We'll take a single chant of Om together. Inhale. Om. And release your hands to your knees and feel free to keep your eyes closed for a moment. And we're just going to do 4 cycles of what's known as 4-7-8 breathing. And this will be an inhale, hold, and then a strong, powerful exhale through the lips. We'll do that 4 cycles, 4 times in one cycle. And we will, not happy with that. Break, cut, start again. Welcome to your practice for today. This 30-minute practice will leave you feeling more free to move throughout your day. Have with you a few props, blocks, blankets, things that you have handy and around in case you need them at the top edge of your mat. Come into a tall seated position, and we're going to start with 4 cycles of 4, 7, and 8 breathing. So inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath in the body for a count of 7, and then exhale through the lips powerfully to empty the lungs, any stagnation, any residual that's just not needed, for the count of 8. I'll count the first 2 and then we'll do 2 cycles together. Close your eyes, take a clearing breath in, a great sigh. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, steady exhale for 8, 7, 4, 3, keep going, 2, empty on 1, breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, hold full, 7, 6, 5, relax the shoulders, 3, 2, 1, powerful out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, breathe in, hold, exhale, last one, breathe in, hold, exhale, breathe in to clear, and sigh. Capture your hands at heart center, palm to palm. Acknowledge yourself for making it to the mat, for moving and breathing in ways that connect you more deeply to yourself and in turn more deeply to those you come into contact with. Bow your head in honor and acknowledgement of the lands in which you practice from and the indigenous connections of the unceded territory. We'll take an Om together to acknowledge the roots of yoga and the practice that comes to us from India. Inhale. Om. As you release your hands and blink your eyes to open, unfold your legs and come into a kneeling position. So on all fours, if your knees are sensitive, feel free to put some extra cushion underneath your knees as needed. We'll just start with a simple cat-cow to move the spine forward and back. So tail to the sky, shoulders come back, chest comes forward towards the fingertips, and eyes to neutral. You don't have to look way up. That's a little stressful on the neck. And then tuck the tail under and ripple through your spine until your chin comes into your chest. Inhale, lift the tail, let that wave of breath come in. And then exhale and tuck and round all the way out. And again, inhale from the tail through the middle upper back. And then exhale to round. One more. At center, tuck your toes under, walk your fingertips ahead of your knees, and use the fingers to press yourself up into a forward fold at the back edge of your mat. Now, if the floor is far, grab that block from the top of your mat and then pedal your knees side to side here and let your head dangle for a moment. Now we want to check in with the spine and how it feels. So bend the knees generously, let your arms dangle, and then ragdoll up to standing. So vertebra stacking on vertebra, slow roll to the very, very top. Roll the heads of the arm bones up and back. And then let's roll back down, checking back in. Chin into chest, arms dangle, head heavy, rolling back down to the mat. At the bottom, take a deep breath in and a full breath out. And press into the heels and slowly roll your way back up to standing tall. At the top of your mat, roll your shoulders to your back. You can place your hands on your hips or have them open by your sides, but shift some weight to your left foot and pick up your right heel. So you've got a nice high heel shoe type foot, but watch your left hip doesn't pop out to the side, squeeze it in. And then just do a couple ankle circles. So you're rolling that foot around its edges, and you'll notice that the femur also rolls. You might hear little fireworks in your ankles, pop, crack, little releases. This is probably one of the best things you can do every single day at the start, in the middle, and the end of your day to keep energy flowing through your body. Switch the feet, shift onto your right foot, bend your left knee, and just find the mound of the foot and really push into it. So you're not releasing into the right hip, you're actually engaging through your left foot. Go a few times one direction, and then the other direction. To move well in your body means to have mobility and increase your mobility wherever possible. Now bring your feet together so your big toes touch. Bring your hands down onto your knees and then just circle your knees one direction. Couple times, deep breath. And then the other direction. Couple times. And again, we're now activating that stability, the stabilizers in the ankles. And come back up to center. Turn to face the long edge of your mat and then step out wide to the sides. Not too wide, Be soft on your knees when you land, toes out, heels in, and then bring your hands in front of your heart and interlock your fingers gently. Let your elbows stay down, your shoulders relax. Now bend your left knee, pull your hips straight back, bend your right knee, stay low, and come back up to center. Now, what's really key here is you keep your torso all lined up and let your hips do the movement. So you're coming across and then back up. Now, if you lose your balance at all, maybe shorten or narrow the stance or maybe widen it. See what's working best in your body. One more this way. And then switch and go the other way. Bend right, straight back, bend left, and come up. Notice the subtleties of clicks and clacks or the shifting that your body's doing to maybe avoid something tight in the inner leg or hip. And all you're doing is paying attention, because when we're aware of something, only then can we change it or shift it. Bring your hands back to your hips, turn the toes in, and step back to the back edge of your mat. Facing forward, bring your big toes right to touch. Sweep wide on your in-breath, forward fold on your out-breath. Now lift up halfway. Bend your knees, walk your fingertips forward, come down onto your knees. Now the knees are together, feet are together. Walk your hands out into a plank and then lower all the way down to your belly. Point the toes, and like a big long snake, you're pressing down through the tops of your feet. Your knees lift, and then your heart lifts, your head comes up too. Cobra, release down. Pull your hands rather than push down only. You're actually pulling and shrugging your shoulders onto your back, building spine strength. Come back down. One more. So it's your back body lifting you, not your hands. And to check in, just lift your hands for a moment and then come back down. Tuck the toes, press up and back. Little closed knee, like child's pose or rock position. Press down through the palms firm and lift into downward facing dog. Now separate the feet. Find that hip distance in your feet again. Weight in your heels, soften your ankles. Lift your hips back and up. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. And step your right foot forward. Come into a lunge. Start with the fingertips down and lift your heart forward. And this is a great place. If you have the props, use them. Helps to lift the heart up, gets the spine longer, and just increases your access to this stretch. Sink the heel, press off the toes. So you just did some ankle movement, some mobility, and now you're asking the ankle to use that mobility to give you more expression. You can have your fingertips on the floor here. If you find you're really popping in your spine, try to give something under your hands to lift you up. Now stepping forward with your left foot, halfway lift, forward fold, then press to rise, reach up wide or straight up in front of you if you're limited on space, hands to heart center. Release your arms, take a deep breath in, a full breath out. Push the heels apart, sweep the arms wider in front, and then bow forward, exhale fully. Halfway lift. And now step back into that plank position. Knees come down, bring your knees right together, your big toes to touch again. This is a closed kneed cobra. So you're coming all the way down to the floor, flipping the feet, kiss the ground with the forehead, lift the knees, shrug the shoulders back, lift your head and heart. Forward and down. Two more, breath in, check in with that little hand lift. Building spine strength takes time, don't force it. Tuck the toes, press up and back, close knee, puppy dog position. And lifting into downward facing dog, separate the feet. Step your left foot forward. Fingertips on blocks or on the floor. Now remember, your blocks have 3 heights: low, medium, or high, and you can use any of them to enhance this little push forward off the toes and pull back. And that will change your access to the hip, to the calf, to the leg. Breathe deep. When you notice you're not breathing or the breath is not flowing, just bring your awareness back to it. Just like we did in 4-7-8, that enticement of noticing when you're holding and then allowing for the release. Now from here, you'll step forward, halfway lift, hands on shins, spine nice and long, weight in your heels. Try not to dinosaur the spine or tuck the tail. Bow forward. And sweep the arms overhead, reach up. Hands through heart center. Release the arms. Stand tall, shift your weight onto your left foot, and step your right foot back into a short lunge. Now you can place your hands on your hips if they need somewhere to be, otherwise hands by your sides. Sweep up as you breathe in, and then come forward as you breathe out. Bring your arms back like an airplane wing, and you're pushing off the back foot, and you're going to put a lot more weight in your front foot, and then go back maybe 2 more inches into your lunge. Sweep up, inhale. Come forward again, exhale, maybe bend into the front knee. If the knee's driving over the ankle, step back a little further. Find your deepest, longest, tall lunge. Working a little balance here too. Push your right heel out. Breathe for 3. Good for 2. On 1, you're bringing your hands into your heart center. Now you can put your hand on your front knee or just slowly lower and gently place your right knee down. Hardest part so far. Back foot can flip or stay tucked. Right hand to the floor, left hand to your knee for a twist. Now you can look over the shoulder where your eyes go, energy tends to follow. And then reach your left arm in a full expression and extension. And one of my favorite movements here is to stretch the neck by looking down and sweeping the left arm behind you. Now it's not going to that wall to the blue side, but straight back towards that bar behind me. So it's just getting that nice deep length on the left side of the neck, the shoulder, the upper trap. Your right hand could be on a block here too if the floor feels far. Now you'll cartwheel the left hand up and inside your left foot and pause. Both hands inside your front foot. Try not to move that foot, but pull your heart forward. You might find your shoulder and your knee nice and snugly connected, or if the knee has fallen out, hug it into your outer tricep. And now we're going to get into the side body a little bit here by pulling our hips straight back. You can use your blocks or come to fingertips, go straight back. Now the hip here tends to kind of wiggle up and shorten. So I want you to keep your right hand either on a block or on the floor, just off the edge of your mat, but under your shoulder. And then peel your left hip down, keeping your left big toe anchored into the floor. So you're lengthening the left side of your waist here where it wants to be short. I want you to pull yourself out of that compression. And then again, reach up and overhead. Again, you can look down if it's hard on the neck, otherwise looking up to your upper thumb. If you want more here, you'll flip your palm towards your ear and then extend your left hip and left fingertips away from center like a little rainbow. The side waist does not get a lot of attention in our regular day-to-day, so let it exist here. Turn forward, hand to knee, come back into that lunge. Nice and tall, and then release your block. Plant your palms, step back, open knee, open feet, plank, lower down. Lift into cobra. Exhale down with that wave and then tuck your toes. Puppy dog into downward dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Press to rise. Go all the way to the top. Hands through heart center. And arms by your sides. And again, you can catch your hips or keep your arms open as mine are here. You'll shift your weight onto your your right foot, lift your left heel, and step back into a short lunge. And I say short because we're a little more balanced when we're closer to center, because that's where we spend most of our time as humans. So as you step back, you're starting to elongate and things might get a little wobbly. Do your best here, reach up. Hinge forward, more weight in your right foot. Step your left foot further back. Reach the heart forward, sweep the arms back. Go maybe a little further, especially if that knee came over the ankle. There's still space back behind you in the hip. Now stay here for 3. Your ankle is like a shock absorber. So if you feel wobbly, rely on a little pressure up or a little sinking back. Try not to get too stuck in one spot. Now bring your hands down through heart center. Now you can place the hand onto the knee for balance, but slowly bend your back knee and you'll gently place it down onto the mat. Right hand to knee, left hand to the floor. I like to point the toes, but make sure your ankle stays straight. We'll take a twist here. Option to take that right arm straight up and look in any direction that's comfortable for the neck. And all I'll say here is that right arm, it's reaching to the ceiling, not falling back behind you. Don't hang in your joints. Now to get that neck stretch like you did on the other side, look down to your left hand and slowly reach towards that back edge of your mat. Thumb to the ceiling, pinky finger to the floor. And if you're falling into the shoulder, push away from the ground. Take your right arm up and around, cartwheel it inside your right foot, fingertips, palms, or even on blocks. Just pause here. Hug your knee to your outer right tricep. Think shoulders back. If your spine is really rounding here, get a little taller to eliminate rounding. When we round, we avoid. We're sort of escaping the stretch that we're trying to access. Now we're going to get into the side body on this side, walking the hands back, straightening that front leg. Have a block maybe underneath your left hand out to the side, under the shoulder. Peel your right hip away from you and then reach straight up out of your waist. You can stay right there or take the hand arm over the ear. So you're pulling your right hip down to the right edge of your mat. Your right big toe stays anchored. And now you're breathing length into the side of your waist. Good. Now start to bend your front knee. Sweep your right hand just around inside. Realign at the top of your mat and step back into your modified plank. Lower to your belly. Engage the legs. Lift your head and heart. Release down. Tuck the toes. Press up and back, puppy dog. Into downward dog. Now from this downward dog, we're going to make our way to a seated position. So you'll come to your knees, either cross the ankles and roll over, or sweep your legs around to one side. Stretch the legs around in front. And bring your right foot in for a moment to help entice your spine nice and tall. Flex your right foot and then hook it over your left ankle. We're going to keep this one pretty simple. You'll lean back, Classic figure 4 in the legs. As you pull your left foot in, the spine sometimes rounds or so do the shoulders. So use your arms to puff up your chest and maybe walk your hips and then your hands a little closer to your left heel. So you're working to get in closer and closer, but if it's causing this rounding, then push it away. There's no need in forcing. What did I say at the beginning? We want to gently encourage and entice the body to move better throughout our day. Now, when you're upright here, shift just slightly your knee far to the left, and then slightly across center, and then go far to the left and back to center. One more. Now you have options here. If you wanted to go a little bit deeper, you could walk your left foot to the right edge of your mat, and that opening, if it's available, will bring the knee down, and then you'll sit up a little taller. What we know as double fire log position, or Agni Stambhasana. If that seems like a lot, don't force it. Listen to your body. If you have the space, you'll come forward over both legs. Now, wherever you are in that cycle, take a deep breath in and out. And again, in. Lean in forward. Last one. Then come back into your palms wherever you are. Stretch both legs out in front. Give them a nice little tap out. And then to the other side. So left ankle on top of right. That lean back. Right foot comes up to flat and pause. So we pause to first check in, get tall in the spine, maybe move forward. Often this is the best way to get here without affecting the knees. So we don't want to put pressure in the knees. And again, if it's too much, you're just sliding that foot further away. Let's go back to that little bit of a swing. So it's a great place to check in with, can I open that hip? You're going to feel that lengthen and then come across. That's going to decrease, and this will increase. As you come out, oh, you feel the resistance. And then again, and then come back to center. And you might stay here or walk that foot all the way over and letting the leg come down. So regardless of where you are, and you might see I've shifted, if my ankle slid off, I want to bring it closer, but I still want that ankle bone. It's not on my leg, it's just off the edge. Lean the heart a little forward if there's space. If there's no space, don't force it. Maybe just stay back and open. Feel into what you feel. If you went too far, too fast, you're kind of contorted, come back around to where we were. 3 breaths. Now start to walk yourself back up to sitting tall. Lean back wherever you are. Stretch those legs out. Give them a little tap out. Bring both feet up to flat. Find the edges of your mat. Flex your toes. This is going to be important to protect your knees. Your hands behind you can face whatever is comfortable. And then you're bringing both knees across with flexed feet. So you're actually affecting the femur in that hip socket rather than pressure in your knees. Do a couple here. It's just a nice way to unwind the lower back. And then we'll lie down and we'll take a reclined twist. So as you lie back, make sure you have room behind you on your mat. Bring your right knee into your chest, give it a squeeze, shoulders back. Then take your left hand on your right knee, cross it across your body, and your right arm sweeps wide, enticing your right shoulder to stay down. Feel free to shift your hip a little more underneath you if you feel lopsided, and then push your right hip down and away. Soften the space between your hip and your ribs, or the hip and your shoulders into your ribs. Come back through center. Switch legs, right leg out, left knee in. Right hand to left knee, left arm sweeps wide. Tucking that right hip a little more underneath to find your center line. When we rotate, breathing can feel a little more difficult. So breathe in as much as you can to impact the inner body and translate into the outer shell. Come back through center. Hug both knees in for a full reset. Then stretch your legs out long and let your palms fall open. And for 2 minutes, we'll lie still. Big sigh. If you're in a bright space, maybe put something over your eyes. If you're in a cool space, put something over your body to keep it warm. Relax your face, your expression, your jaw, your shoulders. Let go of any need to be anywhere but here. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Now, if you have more time and you want to stay here, by all means do so. Absorb the benefits of your practice. As you feel called to move, the wisdom within you, start to make your way onto one side. And eventually back up to a tall seat. Bring your palms to greet at Anjali Mudra, heart center. And bow your head in acknowledgement of your time, your energy, and your continued commitment to get on your mat, to move and breathe and connect more deeply to yourself, and in turn, more deeply to the world around you. Let's take an Om together. Inhale. Om. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon.